Hello, everybody. This is Lynn Walden, and this is the debrief for the self-awareness exercise I posted at the beginning of the week. So for those of you who have done it, you'll know what I'm talking about. And for those of you who don't, you can go back and check out the self-awareness exercise that was posted on December 9th, I believe, or 2nd, the beginning of the week, which lends itself to my next statement, which is I'm keeping things pretty short this week because I've been dealing with a bug, and I realize I only have energy to do things well for short periods. So, the debrief. The self-awareness exercise was to contemplate the concept of abandonment, and noticed how it showed up in your week, to maintain an energy of humor as much as possible, not just about the situations that were going on in your life, but also to seek out humor and to keep that energy alive in you as a way to lift your frequency. And then to notice how you're interacting with people, and when you found yourself wanting to tell them how they should be, to turn that into something where you tell them genuinely something that you like about them, whether or not it's something that you want to see more of, or whether or not it is something that you are just choosing to focus on instead of the thing that is not making you happy about them. And just see how approaching life with humor and with that attitude, and actively doing things differently in terms of speaking to people about what you like and don't like, is going to make a difference for you. And does that in any way bring up any concepts around abandonment? So the way I would look at it is this. Did you find that the concept of being left, being rejected, being deserted in some way, or not being supported, was going to come up for you when you started speaking to people differently? Did you have any old memories come up for you, any old stories come up for you around the idea of abandonment? And I'm going to remind you. I mentioned I have a bit of a bug this week. Oh. I'm going to remind you of what the abandonment card says, and it is this. Abandonment isn't just the experience of being left. It carries with it a much deeper sense of desertion, of being left vulnerable without the support or tools we need in order to survive, either emotionally or physically. Did that show up in your life today, this week, somehow? I'm not going to refilm this. You're getting me in all my glory. This is the real with the bug. Okay, are you going to be able to stand back this week and look at this and say, did memories or concepts or themes of abandonment come up for you or anybody in your life? And does it connect with the awareness activity? Did that bring up any aspects of being vulnerable, left without the support or tools of others? Or did you find yourself missing those things, wanting more of that support from people and not getting it, and then applying the activity card, which is today, when you're tempted to tell someone what's wrong with them, who you wish they were instead, or who they should be, tell them instead how much you like and appreciate the qualities you're privately hoping to see more of. Don't demand or criticize. Don't even mention that you'd like more if it like you would like more of it. I just noticed a printing mistake, because that implies that they're not enough. Make sure that you really let yourself genuinely feel the appreciation of the events or qualities you mention. Okay, so there are a lot of different ways that this could play out for people, and that's the beautiful thing about an awareness activity, is that it's going to bring up different things from your subconscious than it would from somebody else. So again, questions that I would ask in a general way as a debrief is, how did doing the activity, just doing an activity around deliberate self-awareness and experimentation, how did that change how you felt about your week? Did it give you something a little bit exciting to do? Did you find it easy to do? Were you curious about it? And then, did the themes come up? Did any of those themes, excuse me, did any of those themes come up? Abandonment, the need for humor, the ability to be humorous and to seek humor, and applying the card, the I really like card. Did you notice that that was easier to do when you carried an energy of humor, when you looked at what was going on with a lighter attitude? So it doesn't mean that you're necessarily laughing at the situation that's going on. But have you ever noticed how you can be in a situation that's really difficult or challenging in some way, and yet you can be in the middle of dealing with a major bank crisis, and then all of a sudden you notice, say, a little kid playing with something in the lineup, and all of a sudden it's just so sweetly funny that your mood lifts. And even though you're still dealing with this issue that is potentially very stressful, now all of a sudden the energy has changed because of that incident and because of how you've responded to that incident. So the thing is, we can invoke those things. We can invoke memories of that, because remember, the brain doesn't know the difference between a memory of an experience and the actuality of experience it in present time. So you can direct your energy according to where you choose to think. And I think that's one of the most powerful things about doing an awareness activity, is that that is the anchor point. It's like, okay, this week, this is what you could do. You can choose humor in as many different ways as possible. And certainly around situations where there are any of these issues that come up for you. Now, if the issues of abandonment are very deep and very traumatic, and sometimes they're very deep and we don't think they're traumatic, because abandonment doesn't have to be being left, being abandoned physically by a parent or by somebody taking care of you. Abandonment can feel like not being seen when you're a child. It can be because a parent is sick and they don't have the time to spend one-on-one with you, creating that intimacy because there's too much pain or too much difficulty going on for them. So abandonment can be something that can show up in subtle different ways. And I would ask you to consider looking at that this week. Did it show up in your memory in different ways? Did this activate an old energy in you, perhaps, that is calling for resolution? And that's, again, one of the wonderful things about this is, even if it doesn't apply to your daily life now, what it can do is, because you're giving it an environment within which it has a place to exist, it can call up old things that need to be called up if they're ready to be called up and let go of. And let go of, transmute, understood, breathed through, many different ways to deal with it. Very often it's just the understanding of something coming to consciousness which makes a difference. So, debriefing, look back over your week. How did it affect your view of the week? Were there any major instances where any of these concepts came up, or where you applied it in a way that really gave you a sense of being able to shift your behavior in a way that could positively influence your experience? Excuse me. I think it's also important or valuable when you're doing this to keep a record of what it is you've done and if you've had any key moments. And please remember this, there's no right or wrong way to do it. I'm laying out a suggestion. And you might only have remembered to do it one day, and that might have been exactly what you needed and all you needed. So if you've only done it for a short period of time, don't worry. You still have a lot of grist for the mill. You still have a lot of content, relevant content for reflection on this. And yeah, that's it. I have several ideas around turning this potentially into a Facebook group or something of that nature for people who want to continually do self-awareness exercises and create a community around that where you can get to share and experience your ideas, and the coolness that happens, and kind of just get in alignment with some other people who are wanting to do the same kinds of things. So if you have any ideas that would further that, please put them in the comments. And if you have any questions about how to apply or anything specific about a debrief, please don't hesitate to make comments. I would love to have them. And yeah, if you feel inclined to subscribe and to give me a thumbs up, that would be great. And as I said, comments are welcome, and I will answer questions. Okay? Thanks so very much. And I will be resting up over the next couple of days and then putting up another awareness activity for next week. I might do it tomorrow if my energy is there, but I will do it when I feel I can do a good job at it. So that's where I'm at for now. Have a great weekend. And if you want to check out more questions on how to debrief, go to my website. The link is in the paragraph below, somewhere down there. And you can go to the exercises section under the cards, and you'll find a debrief section. It's also in the printable guides section, and it's free. So there you go. I hope that was helpful, and hopefully I will see you again when I can speak and my brain is a little bit more clear. Thank you so much. Have a lovely weekend.